What's up, guys? It's Charles here with Rocket Punch. I'm going to do a review of the Transformers Optimus Prime
ES Gokin from Action Toys.
That's right, guys, an ES Gokin Transformer, which is why this is labeled ES Gokin Series TF-01. Now, it does come in this little plastic bag, which we are removing right now, just so we can take a better look at the box. It is different from the regular ES Gokin line. This seems to be a little bit thinner. The ES Gokin boxes are thicker. But just in case you guys are interested in the box, here it is, G1 grid design, pictures everywhere, and down here it looks like it has a few accessories which we're going to check out once we open it. Now, prior to Hasbro giving out licenses to other companies to make Transformers related figures, Diecast figures and Transformers were pretty much kept separate. You were either a Gokin collector or a Transformers collector. What Action Toys has done, even with the Optimus Prime, is give fans of both a mixture of the two. Alright, so because it is a Gokin, this should have some diecast content. I do see a foot kind of off here, so hopefully that's not broken. You do see the pieces here laid out, and obviously the tray on the bottom. It's a bunch of pieces on the tray there. You also get a little color instruction booklet. It's not really a booklet, it's just a little sheet folded in half, made out of decently thick paper here. Now, as most of you know, Artstorm is pretty much part of Fewture or vice versa, and you know I don't have a lot of luck with them, so let's just hope this isn't anything I'm going to be upset over. It looks like the foot is attached. It's actually just articulation. That was all weird. And guys, this is why I like to open stuff before actually really taking a look at it, and it's just to get the first impression of these figures upon opening. And the first impression, I gotta say, is this thing is awesome. It feels so good. It's been a while since I've actually been this happy opening up an ES Gokin. I mean, they really, so far, knocked it out of the park. This thing has a good amount of weight. Unlike all the other ES Gokins that they make that are pretty light and flimsy, this one feels good. No, let's scratch that. It feels excellent. So if, you know, a lot of you guys watching this are probably not Transformers fans, and a lot of you are. I do have fans of both sides, but this is a way both sides can come together and be happy. Because this thing it's a Transformer, and not really. As you guys know, it does not transform, but you know what I'm saying. It's a Transformers character done in Gokin form. And the only reason this exists is because Hasbro did give out the licenses for these as long as they don't transform. So it's not that the company's lazy, doesn't want them to transform, it's just not part of the deal. Now, as cool as this figure is, it wasn't the first SD Prime. No, sir. There was actually one here made by Kids Logic. Although the difference here is that you obviously have the diecast content here, and with this one, it's all plastic, but it has a bunch of LED features and all that stuff. And both of them are really cool, and I would venture to say, well, this one's still heavier from the size, but it's a pretty close match due to the weight on this one from the metal. And it's also not the first Gokin Prime. We also have this one that's part of the EX Gokin line. So we have the ES, which is the super deformed style, and we have the EX Gokin, which is just a higher end diecast metal figure. And then of course we have him here with the ultimate in all of Prime Gokin figures, which is the Ultimetal Optimus Prime. So next thing we're going to touch on here is the articulation. So we have the head here. That's the first time I'm checking out the articulation. I don't like the fact that the mouthpiece bangs into this chest piece right behind it. It doesn't actually really touch, but it's so close that you might want to be careful. That way you don't get little nicks here on the faceplate. Other than that, pretty good articulation. We move on to the shoulders. The shoulders do move up this way. This piece also moves, separate from that. It looks like it does hinge up and down. Right here, you'll see that little shoulder movement there. You also do get a bicep swivel, which doesn't look like it can clear the top part of this, so there is some banging there, as you can see. I don't think that clears out of the way. It doesn't look like it. You do have the elbow. So far, no ratchets. You do have the ball jointed fist here. We have the waist joint, which is very tight. You can actually hear it creaking. It looks like we do have little skirts here like on Gundams, but they don't actually flip out. It's actually a really soft PVC, which is, I don't know if that's a good thing. I know PVC is pretty resilient, but once PVC cracks, it cracks. But yeah, that's a little weird thing, a little weird choice there, but it is super soft, and that could be from the heat from these lamps. Again, it will allow you to get the articulation you need front and back without worrying about scratching, so that's a plus for that. You do have the knee here, and you'll see the knee joint is right on the back of the lower leg, which allows it to really bend far. As you can see, that's a lot of articulation for a fairly stylized figure. And then the feet here, when I took it out of the package, the foot was this way, so it kind of looked like it was unhinged. But you can see the ball joints on the inner part of the leg, which allows it to get a excellent stance, an excellent angle for what people call the A stance. So as you can see, it has excellent articulation. You can even kneel this sucker. Alright, who wants to check out some accessories? I do. Alright, so here we got all the accessories here, not counting the stand. Here's the blaster. It's done in a greenish blue plastic. It's like a dark blue. It almost reminds me of a Japanese toy plastic. I can't quite remember, probably a Robotech that uses these dark blue, greenish kind of plastics. But there it is with the little blue back here. We have the ball jointed hands. As you can see, the ball joint is a lighter color than the hands, so the hands are painted in metallic blue. And excellent sculpting. Very cool sculpted hands. Got a variety of them. You got these two here. We have the #1 hand here. We also have regular fists for those guys that love fisted robots. And actually, there's two #1 hands here. And thankfully, there's one for each side. There's no two left hands or whatever. We also have a matrix, which does nothing, unfortunately. You know, I wouldn't expect it to this size. It doesn't slide out or anything. But it does have a nice sort of translucent thing here. What I do see is a little hole back here. So for you customizers, you probably can put an LED bulb right in there. It looks to be a good size for an LED bulb. But that's the way that is. And of course the Energon axe, which has the little spikes down here. It's the clear plastic, pretty much the same plastic as the Masterpiece ones, a soft PVC-ish type. So we're going to check these out on the figure. Well, we want to put the blaster on, so let me get the fisted hand here, which has the hole for the blaster. Let me get the right hand here and pop that in. I'll show you how easy it is to undo these. Just pop them off, just like that. Pop this in. And then for the other one, we're going to put the Energon axe into it. Alright, so you can see what it looks like with the Energon axe and the blaster. Next I want to show you is this that does come apart. And that is to allow you to use the hands that have the open here, the little fist, to do this. And attach the other one, which I'm currently using with the blaster here. You want to make sure the ball joints are towards the outside, so it allows clearance for this part to be tabbed back in. And then you just pop this into the arms. And once you're done, you're left with this. Now, longtime viewers of my channel know that I don't like stands. I can't stand them. Get it? Stand. Anyway, but I did feel a need to show you this one because it's not your typical stand. This is sort of like those mechanical bases, and it just does a bunch of stuff. I can't find the damn instruction booklet right now. Here it is. Alright, so you can make like a little mechanical base type thing. You can make it's like a transformable base, so we're going to check that out because that seems pretty cool. One of the reasons I don't like stands because I don't have space for them, and they're usually just a lot more trouble than they're worth, especially the solo Gokin ones. Oh my lord, you have to attach all the fists and everything. Now this does have a lot of pieces, but I do want to show you guys the different things you can do. So you can see it's like a big Lego set with tabs and everything, and it's going to suck doing this in a black background, but I'll see what I can do here. So we're going to take these two pieces, pop them together, they just slide right into each other like so. Then you attach these arms together, just put the little ratchets on each one, just like this. Then grab this one with the 4 tabs and just put it right here on the back. And then you can attach the arm right here in any of these 3 holes. We'll put it right here in the middle. As you can see, it's got a nice ratcheted design arm. And any post would go right in the back of the figure. That's like one of the weird things. It is a screw hole, but it's just there. Like there's nothing covering or whatever. I just thought that was a little strange on a high-end Gokin. I'm obviously not going to pose it. This is just so you guys can see. Again, I don't like stands, but you can see what the hell I'm trying to do here. So you can get inventive with that. Then it's got these little piston type things which you can attach to the side. So we're going to do that by taking these. They got little holes here, little slots. You can put them right on the side. Then you got these that plug into the back. You kind of have to work it in with this one, like this way right here, this little slot, and then push it down. Then you got this little cross beam here which you can attach to these tabs just to give it the squared look there. Then use this other arm and plug it in right here, and that way you can attach Optimus Prime, and he's in his own little mechanical base looking thing. Now what's cool is if you have it in this form, or whatever form you choose to do, you can attach this right here right to the back, which does kind of remind me of a Solo Chogokin stand now, because what that's for is a spot to pop in the alternate hands. That way you can keep all your accessories together. You can also do this kind of angled setup, or you can do just like a standard mechanical base, just display them right there. Now this is just my recommendation from one collector to the other. Even though these do have a ratchet type action, I think what you're really supposed to do is unscrew them here. You can ratchet it, just don't have this completely screwed in because you will mess up the teeth. There's no spring-loaded ratcheting action, so it's just pure friction. So if you're the type that's going to be bothered by teeth wearing out after a while, just unscrew this screw, give it a little clearance, that way adjust it where you need to and clamp it back down. Alright, so now that we have the stand out of the way, we're going to get right into transformation. Or not. So because of that, I know I'm going to get tons of comments of people saying, oh, it's not a transformer, it doesn't transform. Yeah, I get it. But you have to understand these companies are not allowed to do that. So it's a good thing that they are at least able to bring us their versions of these characters, which Hasbro will never do. You were never going to find Hasbro making something as cool as this. And a couple things before we end off this video. Just talk a little bit about the details. There are some details in the eyes here. I thought for a second there might have been some LED action going on, but unfortunately not. There's also some details behind the clear windows here of the cab. It looks like a little matrix type design, but unfortunately these things do not open. Other than that, the paint apps are beautiful. You know, contrary to my experience with Fewture stuff, this is absolutely just perfect. There's no mess ups anywhere. Everything's tight, nothing's popped off. There's no mystery hair stuck in the paint anywhere. Beautiful. No fingerprints. Even the tampo printing of the Autobot logo here is absolutely top notch. And I almost forgot to mention the metal content. I did mention how nice and hefty he feels. So we'll just talk about the parts that are not metal, and then I'll tell you which parts are metal. So obviously the head is all plastic. The smokestacks here are a PVC, it looks like. They're kind of soft. The shoulders are plastic. The joints are plastic. The elbow joints are plastic. The forearms are plastic. The hands are plastic. The waist here is PVC with plastic underneath. The thighs are plastic. The backs of the legs are plastic. So it's almost all plastic, right? Sort of. It does have a good amount of metal where it counts. You get the whole upper chest here. This whole section here is die-cast metal. Save for the little windows here. You do have the whole front of the legs here in metal, and also the front half of the feet here. While that doesn't sound like a lot in comparison with the plastic, it does feel good. Like I said, guys, it is pretty hefty. Alright, so last but not least, we're going to do some scale comparisons. So you saw the Gokins in the beginning for the Optimus Prime. We're going to show you another Optimus Prime here, Deluxe Class Optimus Prime. How about we check them out with some other Gokin right here? We have the Arcadia Getter 1. And prior to that, Arcadia was called Yamato, and they were making the line of these figures. This is their version of an SD Grendizer. And we got an ES Gokin here, which is the Guy King, which, you know, you compare these two, they're night and day differences to me. You know, these guys are, you know, they have their issues, like it's got fur or some kind of mystery hair on the horn here, but enough of that. And so here's an ES Gokin, and then somehow from the same line they come out with monsters like this. This is another ES Gokin. This is the Tetsujin 28, the FX version, which is a monster. Same line, just way different scaling. Alright guys, so if this caused a little party in your pants, you can click the link in the description below if you want to pick this up. If you're enjoying the videos, guys, you can support the channel by clicking somewhere up here. I always forget where the link is to support the channel. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Until next time, bye bye. Bubble butt, bubble butt, bubble butt.